Yo, what's going on YouTube, man? It's Backroom Reacts. It's your boy Cam.
It's your boy Ryan.
And we is back in the back room. Well, what do black people think about white people?
And we got an interesting one on Jubilee today. You know, we ran through some of the questions, and there's one that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very
interesting that we'll get to. But yeah, I mean, it's not much else to it. Our last Jubilee was alpha males versus beta males.
That was a fire video, man.
It was a fire video. So I'm excited to see what they got with this one. I don't think it's the same as, well, maybe it's the same as like them agreeing and disagreeing.
Yeah, I
having conversations.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, let's see. If y'all do like the video, it'll be down below for y'all to check it out yourselves. And like and subscribe if you like the reactions. Turn on post notifications so you always know when we upload. And you already know the realest reactions happen
in the back room.
Yes, sir. So just let's give Jubilee the floor and see what they got cooking with this one.
A school that was predominantly black when I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that?
What the fuck?
Wow.
What is that? Is crazy.
Wow. She can't talk with that big ass gap in the teeth, man.
I act differently around people who aren't my race. 3, 2, 1.
I think the most important thing is just to...
Okay, so this is agreed. This is
yeah.
Okay. Hold on, go back. I need to see who agreed, who disagreed.
Aren't my race. 3, 2, 1.
That boy in the back was ready to jump.
I think the most important thing is just to...
before they get their point, what about you? Fuck.
Do I act differently around people who aren't my race?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no just because I'm around different races almost every day of the week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say no. What about you?
I'm gonna say no. I feel like I act pretty much the same at any time, any day. Pretty much, like, I don't know. To me, a person's their race or like another person in general doesn't really change how I act. Like if you don't fuck with my vibe, then you can get to stepping up. I don't really care.
Right.
Type. So let's see what they say.
Be yourself, and I don't think being around people who don't look like you should be a reason for you to act any different.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's like within the confines of like the workforce.
I know I'm ugly.
That's a crazy shirt.
Code switching.
Because if you show up to a meeting talking like this, they're like, uneducated, got it. They'll use the slang to sell the products and to tweet and to get the clicks and stuff. But like as soon as a worker's there who's authentically from the area and talking like people from the area, it's like, ooh, we don't like that. You know, because it's always like, well, be yourself until you yourself. And then it's like, ooh, I don't like yourself. Unfortunately, in a lot of the areas of work, it's like you almost have to like lie to these people to be like, I'm a robot. I'll like, I love your company. Yeah. You know, it's sick. It's sick. But it's like, you have to get,
It's true. Like, I feel like code switching is one part, but also like there's certain parts in my own community that aren't accepted, that when I'm around different people that look like me, I can express myself differently. Like, I feel like if I talk a little proper, sometimes I get a little slack for it from my side of the family. But when I go out into the world, sometimes I like EDC, I like tech music, I like, you know what I'm saying?
See, for me, I feel like it has nothing to do with race. It more has to do with just being professional. Like, if I'm at work, then I'm obviously going to be a little more proper, a little bit less slang and all of that, and just more careful with my rhetoric, but I don't think it has to do with race. The only thing I will say is, like, I work in political media, so I'm on camera a lot, so people already know who I am and what I'm coming with. But that being said, it's like when I'm around other black people, because I'm a Republican, sometimes they tend to be really standoffish with me or think that I don't understand the culture and all this different stuff. So sometimes I have to feel it out, like, are these people who are just gonna call me an Uncle Tom, or are these people like I can actually just keep it all the way real with? So that's the only time I feel like I act different because of race.
You know, I also work in political media, but as a leftist, and I honestly feel like I've definitely benefited from being able to be in spaces where I've been able to be authentically myself, and I definitely think that's a privilege, especially where I grew up is just something that's regularly happening that people have to go through. But personally, I think I've been able to, especially now in a business side and now my new workplace, I feel like I don't have to adapt my language to make people respect me or understand where I'm trying to come from,
at what point is it like, damn, we can't even really have conversations without buttoning up and being like, oh, this is how we have to talk like this, because so they'll listen, or like regard us as.
But do you
people,
think that's racial, or do you think that's
I don't know that it's, because I'm right, I know where you're going.
You've seen you.
I know, I think, I know exactly where it's going. I don't think it's intrinsically rooted in race, but I think just the way the social genetic makeup of people are, I think just by way of people of specific races speaking a certain way or being perceived a certain way, it tends to be more often than not rooted in race, based off of like urban Black Americans.
Yeah.
I think most people have barriers they put up when they get introduced to a new group. I went on disagree instead of strongly disagree because like there have been situations where I get introduced to a group of someone of a different race. And like, yeah, at first I'm pulled back, but once I get comfortable with them, those walls come down, and then, yeah, that's where my true self comes out.
For me, it really depends because I've been shooting music videos in the hood, so I really need to basically adopt myself to become a Black person. So for me, it's not a problem like meeting new races. I always like vibe and chill with people.
Do you think adapting yourself to those different ethnicities is like something that's required to foster like a successful relationship?
Like, I would say it's really more for your survival because, you know, like if you are the only white guy on set and like there's like people with like guns and stuff, and you know, you just really need to like fit in and just be chill with it.
Mm-hmm. You're from the Ukraine, right? Do you feel like not having grown up with American culture as a whole, and then especially not growing up with our subcultures, do you feel like that's influenced the way you move when you're moving between our subcultures?
My like mentality is kind of mixed because like from the age of like 13, I really started to learn English. From that, I really learned a lot. Like I really got the American like mentality more. And basically like my mentality is like mixed because like in Ukraine, if we see a Black person, we call them the N-word. Mm-hmm. And from our side, it's not offensive. Like we say it not from a offensive way, but some people can because, you know, like you don't see a Black person there.
I can understand that because I went to a school that was predominantly Black when I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a white girl with like red hair, and I was like, whoa, I've never seen this before. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand that like when a white person comes to a predominantly Black group, then you're going to try your best to adapt to our culture, to be like, okay, hey, I get along with you. This is my way of like telling you like, hey, I'm like extending an olive branch basically. So yeah.
Personally, not to sound triggered, but I just don't like the notion that you're becoming a Black person by pretending to be hood or adopting a hood mentality, because not all Black people are hood, not all Black people are ghetto. I understand what you're trying to say, and I don't know if it's a language barrier, so I don't want to like come at you like you're saying something racist, but I just really am anti-Black people being defined as ghetto and hood, because there's a lot of classy Black people out there.
Yes, there's a lot of intelligent Afro-Americans out there, and it really like depends on like where you grew up in.
Also, if you are hood and ghetto like me, you can also be all those things too.
White people also experience race-based
What kind of experience did you have, bro? I'm just saying, bro. Like, I mean, goddamn. Like, well, I grew up in the hood. What part? I don't see it at all. But you know,
I also think like he was kind of coming out of like I wouldn't say crazy. Like I understand where he was coming from, like saying how he didn't like saying he was adopting the black version of him because he was going to the hood. But I think what the other dude was trying to say is like he has to portray an image for him not to get pressed. I mean, he says he's shooting music videos with people going. He's got to fit in. So like, yeah, not every African American is in the hood or ghetto or anything, but where he's working at, they're in the hood. Right. They're in the ghetto. That's where they grew up. That's where they live.
Plus, he said he's from Ukraine. He's not familiar with some of these high level hoods or whatever.
Exactly.
He's not familiar with that. So, I mean, what he said, I think it came out maybe a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
But we all know.
Yeah, we knew what he meant, type shit. But like, I don't know. I didn't even hear this question right here.
Good and ghetto like me, you can also be all those things too.
White people also experience race-based prejudice.
Since you guys probably don't know, I have lived overseas. I've lived in Asian countries. In Japan, there are certain restaurants and stuff like that that you could walk into. You can see people dining in the restaurant, and they're gonna tell you they're closed just because you're white or you're American. So the idea that white people can't really experience racism kind of contradicts the very definition of the word, because the definition of racism is prejudice based on one's skin color. White people do experience it, but to a different degree.
While I do think that our white brothers and sisters in Christ can experience racial-based prejudice, I don't want to overlook the nuance of that prejudice, because it's not necessarily rooted in anything systematic or anything that's gonna actually have long-term effects, knock on wood, that are gonna like debilitate a race or inhibit their chances or possibility of succeeding or being seen as better than POC.
I definitely think it's a non-issue, racism towards white people, especially specifically, I want to, like, in America. I don't think it's something that needs to be highlighted as an issue that is a constant threat to lives, day-to-day well-being, progress and success in life in general, because it's not something that's going to inhibit you, and you don't have to walk out your door and think, I'm about to be attacked, like people of color do every single day.
I do agree that white people haven't been put through centuries of hell like black people were, but prejudice towards white people 100% exists. Like whether it's in TV, if it's in movies, like if you watch predominantly black media, there's a lot of roasting towards white people that if it was the other way around, that would never be acceptable today. Then you go on social media like TikTok and you look up white people are bad. You will see videos where they're attacking white people for things that their ancestors did 200 years ago. There are societal benefits at this point for being a person of color, and that those negatively affect white people. Like if you look at affirmative action, diversity quotas in the workplace, all these different things, they lower the bar for black people, but then increase the bar for white people. However, I think where some of the issue comes is because a lot of marginalized groups and people of color back in the day went through so much worse that it's easy for us to discredit the prejudice that white people now deal with today.
I think like on an individualistic level, like yeah, white people get hate all the time. But I think if you zoom out and you look at the big picture, it's a little bit different. And like talking about like YouTube having, you know, racist content for anyone out there, it's like I would have to go and seek that out versus it like coming to me. Versus like on Twitter.
Against white people?
Yeah, I would have to like look for a video being like, oh, people who hate white people.
I agree.
Like versus like Twitter, I don't have to scroll very long before I see some person making some out-of-pocket comment about
and regulation being lifted so people can see that even more so.
Right.
Absolutely, that's 100% right. And even saying affirmative action, statistically and on paper, white people, white women were benefiting more from affirmative action at colleges than any other demographic. So I also don't think that's fair to say, but I definitely get what you mean. And again, I think the prejudice is still there though.
And I will say that black people do deal with prejudice. I think every demographic deals with prejudice. There are racist people everywhere.
Nigga, bro.
Like, I just don't think
They having a whole conversation.
in today's society.
And Buddy over here just looking like, hello?
I think that there's a really important distinction. Our language is constantly evolving, and you were talking about the definition of racism. Our societal definition has changed to include a systemic part of it. And I completely disagree with this idea that people of color don't have systemic things against them still. Because the fact that we still have the KKK, the fact that we still have these things, and they are in positions of power. As long as that exists, and as long as that's a part of our country's...
Is the KKK in position of power?
You asking the wrong
I feel
brother,
like...
man. Me personally, I can't give you 100% because I really don't. And me myself, I really should go back and do a little bit of history, but but I can't answer that question if that really is a position of power.
Cause like from everything I've heard, like leading up whatever to now, it's like I heard the KKK isn't as powerful as they used to be. Obviously, like definitely not as they were back in the day when they first started. But I feel like now, like, bro, you don't even like see them. Yeah, right. You don't see them. They really make nothing. Like, everyone in power that you see that has some type of say in the like political part of the world, or some type of power, is either like a dude with a fuck ton of money, as in like, you know, fucking
like
Bezos,
change,
type shit. So like those are the ones that really got the power. Like they got the power to put the money into something that they want to happen, and like, you know, all of that stuff. As in like for the KKK, I don't know, bro. I feel like the KKK is kind of like it kind of fell off now, like in this time of age.
I think so too. I mean they like. I mean, I couldn't tell you what kind of powerful moves they did back in the day when they were really like running shit. You know, I just really know about like, you know, that they always like, you know, they did the lynching and all that stuff and stuff like that, which now they can't even get away with now, cause like, bro, yeah, social media is so powerful now, bro. Like anybody now, just out of curiosity, just pull out their phone, like, yo, look, where is this at? Oh, it's here. Bet I'm gonna be there whenever.
Yeah.
Just because of the power of social media. If anything got power, it's social media.
Yeah.
It's the internet. I don't think they got power.
Yeah, I don't think the KKK got power like that either, bro. Not like how she says they do. Definitely not anymore.
It's like makeup right now, which it is, and that's our power structure. I don't feel like you can honestly deny systemic racism against the black community, which is why prejudice is so different from racism. I don't think white people can experience racism in this country, but we can experience prejudice based on the societal definitions we now use.
I think anybody can experience racism when you think about it. Like if she went to like, I don't know, like, or like even what that other girl said when she went to Japan and they told her like, you cannot eat here, we're closed. Anyone could really do that.
I think prejudice is just another word for racist.
Yeah, like, I mean, damn near.
I mean,
I think prejudice is in racism. Like, I think that's the definition. Isn't it being prejudiced to another race? That's racism.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like anybody can really experience
Being
racism.
sexually unattracted to a race is racist.
I think where the line gets drawn is when...
Alright.
So them two agree that it is
it's racist that you don't like another person's race. So like, okay, for example, like me personally, I wouldn't date a black girl.
Right.
It's not my type. I'm good on that. To them, that's racist.
Yeah, bro. Well, let me hear what they got to say, because I don't think that's racist.
I don't think that's racist. I think everyone has their own not opinion, but their own personal liking. Yeah, their own personal liking, and like, you know, some races just don't have what the other person likes. Like maybe somebody likes, you know, straight hair, not too nappy, curly. They wouldn't want a black girl,
right?
Type shit. If they want a curly headed light skin, then they want a black girl, type shit. So like it's really all just personal preference.
Like what you want.
Yeah, it's like what you want. I don't see that as racism.
If a white male was sitting there swiping and he's just like, I don't like black girls, they're all ugly. They have too big of lips. I think that's where the line gets drawn. But you can't really help what you're attracted to. Like my fiance is Mexican, and it's like I like him for who he is, not how he looks.
I think that we are conditioned to be attracted and to respond to people that we grow up and around with. So homogeneously, we grow up with people who look like us. So when you move into dating and things like that, statistically, you're going to be attracted to people that you grew up seeing, right? However, when you are discrediting a certain race for whatever reason based off their ethnicity, meaning everybody who did exist, is existing, and will exist from that race, you are not feeling anything. Cute, I don't control your body or your thoughts, but on one hand, I'm like, let's maybe unpack that. Also, where's my camera? To all the girls that's putting this in their bios, that's none of our business. Stop doing that. Keep that to yourself. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear it.
For me, I think that like we're talking about conditioning
talking
and how
about?
we grew up, right? If you go to
That
like
dude was
South
yapping his
Africa,
ass off.
within some of our lifetimes, had apartheid. If you grow up in that, especially as a black person, where you're constantly being mistreated by every single white person, and you're conditioned to be like, white person, no thank you, I don't think that's racist.
I agree, and I did not grow up in South Africa with apartheid.
Yeah.
However, like I said,
used
the
it
nickname
extremely.
of my town was Clanty. Like a lot of my interactions growing up were incredibly racist, and I'm dating a white guy. So I totally get what you mean. I don't want to discredit black people or anyone who's had those kind of situations, because it's not that they're not dating white people. It's definitely, it's more like they're cautious.
I think you used the perfect word earlier. Is it conditioned or?
I was thinking about it on terms of me being a black woman. I feel like it's a lot different when it is a black woman going into dating someone that is not of their race. I can tell you from my experience with dating Hispanic men, white, whatever, they've only seen Jerry Springer and Maury. So it's like
That's
they
crazy.
have a whole different idea of what a black woman is.
That's
Like,
crazy. That's crazy.
Nah, nigga, she lying, bro. Boy, she lying,
Bro,
boy.
what
She
the
is
fuck?
lying, bro. She gotta be at least like 29, early 30s,
Bro.
if that, bro. She lying.
What?
She just sat here and said that almost every white person that she has came in interaction with, dating wise, only seen Jerry Springer or whatever. Nigga, stop
Like
lying,
what, bro? Like here's the thing, like that shit. I don't understand. Like
That didn't even make no, bro.
Jerry Springer is an entertaining show. Like it's not even. It's not supposed to be taken serious. Half of that shit is fake. So it's like one, like in that in mind, it's like not. That was dumb as fuck what she said, bro. Cause
Bro,
like,
nah, rewind that, bro. Like that made zero sense.
Cause like, I've watched Jerry Springer plenty of times. I don't see a black like woman or like a black girl that like. I mean, I don't be talking to them like that. But like someone that I'm having a conversation with is like, oh, I have no plans to being with you because it could turn out into like a Jerry Springer moment. Like that doesn't happen.
Right.
I feel like it's a lot different when it is a black woman going into dating someone that is not of their race. I can tell you from my experience with dating Hispanic men, white, whatever, they've only seen Jerry Springer and Maury. So it's like they have a whole different idea of what a black woman is. Like before my husband changed a lot, one of the comments made to me was he was afraid of me going to his house with braids in my hair, because then they would assume that I was a different kind of girl instead of looking at me for who I am.
I have been denied access.
What the fuck?
So I'm assuming her husband's black.
No, she's white.
That black girl that just sat there and said,
I think she said he's white.
Her husband's white?
Oh no, that might have been the bigger black girl that said that. I don't know. I don't think she said what race he was. She just said like the person I'm with now doesn't want me to go over with.
But
race.
she just said that she wouldn't date no white or Hispanic or whatever because of Jerry Springer.
No. She said anybody that she's came in contact with, as in like a dating wise,
right,
their view is like Jerry Springer.
Okay,
like, this
cool.
is what's gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So in other words, I'm erasing the fact that she don't like black girls or whatever. I mean, black men or
Right.
I'm sorry, white men or whatever.
Right.
So she's on the black people side, right?
Right.
Bro, you just sat here and said that whoever you with now is afraid of braids. Are you coming home with braids or some
Right.
shit? My nigga, I'm not gonna say that's racist.
That's racist as fuck. That's racist as fuck. I thought it was the same thing,
bro.
I was like, that's more racist than the question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was scared. He don't want me to. He's scared of walking home and see me with braids. What human being on this earth haven't seen some kind of woman with braids in her hair, bro?
And it's not even just like black people who wear braids,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. That's it. She lying, bro. She lying.
Yeah, bro. That shit was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was crazy.
Access because of my race.
I can go anywhere, I can sit down anywhere, and I am not going to be denied because of how I look. And I would be ignorant to not admit that.
And I'm going to counter that.
She was the main one who said that she got denied service in the food.
Overseas, though.
So are they saying just for here?
maybe let's assume it's America.
We are justifiably not let into spaces, and our whiteness takes away access to things like powwows. And there's an island in Hawaii that's only for natives, or for like safe spaces for Black communities or whatever else. We are justifiably denied access because of our skin.
Period. We love the nuance.
The thing about Hawaii, though,
Yeah.
Hawaii is stolen land. I believe that they have every right to be able to say only we're allowed to go here because that
Justifiably.
was theirs. It was literally stolen land that was stolen by white people.
Yes. No, but that's why it's justifiably, it's still denied access.
Yeah.
But it is justifiable, 100%. Don't let me
it's
in.
denied access, but it's justifiable. But it's like in my own day-to-day life, I could go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere. I can go read a book in a library. I can go to Starbucks. People don't fear me because of how I look, and so they don't feel the need to be like, you can't be here.
But like in your day-to-day life, are you being denied access? Like, are you trying to go to that island that they won't let you? Okay.
Then I think that's a really good
That
question.
shit doesn't count.
I guess. Because, like,
I
are
would
you
say
seeking
yeah.
those spaces then?
I'm not necessarily seeking them. If I am already aware that this is like, hey, this is for us, not for you. I'm not gonna show up and be like, yeah, but like, I'm a cool white person. But there are spaces that we are not allowed, and I think that's okay.
No, it is okay. But if you're not actively seeking to be part of those circles, you're not being denied access to them.
I will agree with that.
Sure, and I can say that maybe those are not the best examples, but like I think especially because my social circles are predominantly people of color, there are definitely things where they're like, where I've had them be like, this is not a conversation for you, and I'm like, okay. I have had those experiences. I'm okay with them. I want to be clear. Like, I think there should be spaces that aren't for me, and that is okay. But they've existed and they've been in my life.
I have just one really specific example.
She missing the question
Yeah.
though. Have you been denied? Meaning, have you been somewhere where they said, bro, turn around?
Get your ass out of here.
Bro, you're not answering the question, bro. Get your ass on disagree, bro. You have not been denied nowhere. She talking about Hawaii. You go there once out of every 5 years, my nigga. Come on, bro.
Otherwise, I feel like in general, I'm not denied access because of my race, just in my experience. But I had an ex whose stepfather was wildly racist, like Nazi memorabilia, like just insane individual. And I was never allowed over her house because of him. And the one time that I kind of snuck in, he was staring at me through the window. And I'll never forget that in my life, the way that man was staring at me through the window and then cursed out his kids for having me in the house. That man's now in prison for doing God knows what, but it's where he belongs.
I was looking for funding for my film, and most of them are for colored people, and I totally understand that. And there is like not many that I found that are for like everybody. My mind would be like, you know, damn, I cannot do it. Like I cannot apply to it. But from the other side, I understand that the Black community, like you guys need to get your movies out there.
If anything, I feel like I've been invited too much. You know, I feel like I'm kind of like an undercover agent where I'm like because I talk a certain way or because I present myself a certain way, they assume like, oh, I could say this in front of you.
100%.
And I'm like, what'd you say?
Exactly.
You know, I've never really been.
Now, I'll say that too. I've been tokenized so many times.
I'm like, I don't want
we
that.
have to have you here. We need young Black representation. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah.
I am proud of my race. 3, 2, 1.
I will go first.
Oh, damn.
And I will
Damn.
stand 10,000.
I was just being ironic to
I
stand over
think-
there.
Okay, baby. I said, please no. I was here. I cried a little bit.
I was
I
being
think
messy.
that, like, and I'll just keep it specific to my experience of what I know. As Black Americans, we're pretty much the top culture that gets replicated, referenced. People scoot in and scoot out because they want to seem cool and interesting and stuff. And I think that that's so kind of us to like kind of like be beaten down for so long and be kind of separated from our African roots, create names for ourselves, culture, language around our identities as Black Americans and have that be a thing that's just reverberating across the globe. I think that's so cute. Can never be replicated, can never be understated.
That was kind of the start of my like thought process too, like just the basis of being torn down so adamantly, so regularly for hundreds of years in law even, like it is insane that we are here today to even be on camera, to even be in a place with other white people. Like, it is a beautiful thing that we have been able to flourish in such dirt, like literal filth and grime that our ancestors had to go through, and even our grandparents had to go through. Like, in my 8th grade yearbook I saw recently, it said, like, the South will rise again. Like, and this was 2015. So like, this is such a day-to-day thing, and I am proud to be Black, and it's hard to say that. Like, it was hard to say that as a kid, like, or else I could be called the N-word, I could be reprimanded, and I feel so blessed to even be able to think that.
Everybody needs to be proud of their race and stop this like racist bullshit, because
Preach it, my brother.
like
Preach
you
it.
could be green, red, black, white, Hispanic, like it doesn't matter.
I agree with like what you're saying, because my own personal belief is that at the basis of who we are is that we're all just people. We're not a skin tone. But because of those before me, I now have to fight back against the idea that all white people are racist. I remember being in 4th grade and learning about the Holocaust for the first time and saying, I don't want to be German anymore. Meanwhile, my mother's whole family is German. American history, you look at things like slavery, you look at things like Jim Crow laws, segregation. There is so much awful stuff that has happened and is still happening in closeted ways that I cannot be proud of the way that I look.
Yeah, for me, like, I am proud of who I am, like who I grew up to be, like I like who I am. But like, if I were to say I'm a proud white man, like I don't even know what that means. Like, there have been 0 racial hurdles in my life. Now, like, I'm a proud gay man because like I've had to go through shit to get to where I am now. And you know, even to that point, so much of queer culture comes from Black culture, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Bro, homie in the middle was not with that answer.
Oh shit! I mean, he's not lying. I mean, shit, I done threw shots at this nigga. Oh man, that's funny.
Homie in the middle was like, "What the fuck you just say?"
It's from Black culture, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to be proud of the things I've done, the people who I've touched, whose hearts I've opened up. I feel like it's beyond our race. I feel like what it is our experiences that make our light shine through. So that's what I'm proud of, actually. Yeah.
I think that there's a really big difference between being proud to be Black and being proud to be white. So being proud of your culture, beautiful thing. Like, be proud to be Ukrainian. I'm proud to be Slavic. The Black community is different, and the reason it's different is because their culture, specifically Black Americans, their culture was stripped away from them when they were brought over here. So then the culture became being Black American. The race became cultural.
I mixed that up.
So
Sorry about the hate.
yeah. But so I think that there's a really big difference between like, I am proud of my people are Slavic, versus I am proud of my race. It just gets convoluted because Black Americans, the race has become the culture because the culture was stripped away.
I also think oftentimes when you talk about white pride versus Black pride, oftentimes Black pride is rooted in like love and like perseverance of like culture, customs, language, and things like that. And white pride is often rooted in like Black hate, Latin hate, Asian hate. So I think that's like an interesting nuance to not overlook.
No, and I think that's such an important point. I think there's a difference between like, I'm proud and therefore I'm better, versus I am proud of what we have overcome.
Yeah, and then the whole idea of white pride started with people who think the Confederate flag is a personality trait. So how can I be proud of that?
I'm not saying that this applies to any of you, but I meet a lot of white people, particularly white liberals, who will actively say that they're ashamed of being white. And that is wild to me, because how can you look at your past, and because, yes, your race did terrible things in the past, but you shouldn't define yourself as that. If anything, you should look at that and reflect.
So do you think white people should be proud to be specifically white?
See, I think that's a really nuanced question when you're white, because I think you guys had the valid point of ethnicity is different, because like white isn't a collective culture in the way that Black is, because Black people have been grouped together and have a similar experience. But like white, like Italian American, you should definitely be proud of being Italian American. You should be proud of being Slavic American. You should be proud of your lineage. But just to say, oh, I'm proud to be white, like, yeah, that has a weird connotation to it because it's not a collective culture. But what I really want to emphasize is that you should not be ashamed of being white in the way that a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should.
Okay.
You probably
At that point, it's on you.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like some of them didn't really answer the question that was given.
Yeah.
I didn't like the part where they kept talking about black versus white kind of thing, even though that's what the title is.
Yeah.
But most of the questions, like for an example, do you like your race? Why don't you like your race?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But overall, I thought it was cool. Like I said, some of the questions didn't really give that answer to the question.
Yeah.
Especially like, is dating racist or whatever. Like, bro, that black girl did not answer the question.
Nah, she didn't. I mean, to go back with that, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how that's racist, because it's not saying like I don't like I'm gonna just use the example for me, because I'm not really big into dating black women like that. But like, just me saying like I don't want to date a black girl, like dated one. It's not me saying like I don't like black people. Like, how's that racist?
Right.
It's just my preference. Like, they have nothing that I like in a female compared to like an Asian or like a Hispanic. Like, they have like attributes that I would want to date.
Right.
But for a black girl, like, I don't like it. So I don't see how that's racist. Like, I think that's more of a personal like preference, not like what she said. Like, if like, you know, a black girl's trying to talk to you type shit, like, you know, spit game or whatever, and then you're like, oh no, like, you're ugly, or something, like you said, like, your lips are big or some shit like that, then that's racist. But as in, like, just not liking a race, bro, it's not crazy. Like, what if you just had a bad experience with one and you're just like, I'm good on that race?
Yeah, or just say, I don't have a type.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. It's like, to me, that, I don't think that's racist, bro. And the one whenever she was like, she was saying, have you been denied access because of your race?
Bro, yeah, she went completely off topic.
Bro, I don't know, nowadays, bro, you don't even see that anymore.
Bro, it's because of the power of social media, bro.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, you don't really see that anymore. Like, me personally, bro, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw somebody really being racist to somebody. Like, right. Genuinely, like, being racist to somebody. I don't think I've ever seen that in my fucking life.
I don't think so either, bro. And like, now, since everything is so public, bro, if you were denied access, best believe you're going to be on social media within the next 30 minutes, bro.
100%.
Because everywhere you go now, or any interaction or altercation, bro, what's the first person somebody...
Phone.
There you go, bro.
Yep.
Like, I wasn't going for that either, bro. And then she mentioned Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like,
after I said, are we talking about just, like, here?
Like, bro, even Shorty said it. She was like, when's the last time you went? Did you get denied access in Hawaii? No.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. To me, if we're talking specifically on, like, American soil, like, I know Hawaii is part of American soil, but like, at the end of the day, like, that's a whole different like area from the United States.
Right.
So like, if we're talking about here in this land, bro, like, you gotta go to certain places to really find that racism. Like, certain areas, like, you gotta go looking for it. You're not gonna, like, me personally, I've been to a bunch of like New York, all that type. I haven't seen that shit. Like, I just feel like everybody's like, maybe everybody got like, you know, something they gotta say in the back of their head type thing, but nobody's outright going out there and being racist. Like, I don't know. It was an interesting video though.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It's an interesting video. And like, for like the whole like proud for my race, or like proud, what was it, like proud to be my race?
Yeah, are you proud of your race? Are you proud to be, something going along that line.
I feel like with that one, it's like,
I feel like you gotta know your history.
But like, even then though, it's kind of like, even if you know your history, like, you weren't part of that history. At the end of the day, like, you weren't part of it. So like, what you know now is like, I feel like how they should measure is like from when you were born, like the things you remember when you were first like a child or whatever, to now. Like, the things you've seen, stuff you gotta come over. Like they said like a lot of white people haven't had to go over a lot of racial like obstacles and stuff like that. And I get that. But it's also like, I feel like you shouldn't look down on your race because of the past.
Yeah, I agree with that dude. He said that I feel like everybody should be proud of what they are. Because number one, you got to think like, there's certain things that African Americans brought to the U.S. soil and other countries. that we benefited from,
right.
and that everybody else benefited from. There's different races, different cultures
right.
that have brought something to a country or
right.
to American soil that done what's the word? That done every race some good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like different goods from China or
right.
whatnot. Bro, you should be proud of that because it's like you put in something.
Yeah, like for sure. And
to
like,
make this world
especially here, bro. Like America is built off of a lot of people coming from a lot of different places and bringing a lot of different things, bro. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's how. I mean, if you think about it, that's how like the Spaniards and all that. Like that's how they did it when they were conquering islands. You know, they came, they brought spices, they brought other stuff. You know, and so like that was helping, you know, create a type of culture, you know, and then from that culture, other people started coming and they brought their culture, and then little by little, there's different cultures coming along. So like, I don't know, to me, this whole racism thing, like that whole like time of era of like when we were alive as like human beings, to me it's one, it's stupid as fuck when you think about it, but two, it just seems so pointless because like you're just losing so much like different things you could have gained from like other people from other races and stuff like that you're not gonna be able to experience because, you know, they did the whole segregation thing. You know, they split everybody up type thing. It's like, to me, that's just like, it's lowering the bar of one, knowledge, and two, of like what people can really create. Because like one person can know something and another person can know something, but if you separate them,
right,
they never can use those two together and really create something amazing type thing. So being whole proud, like I feel like you should be proud of your race. Like even though like how she said like she wasn't proud to be German anymore because of the whole Holocaust thing. And in Germany, that's a big thing. They're not even allowed to talk about the Holocaust, or like even in schools, like you're not allowed to do none of that because they're ashamed of that. But I also feel like for her to go saying like she's not proud to be German anymore, it's kind of crazy. Like I feel like that's a little overboard because like one, you weren't part of that history. That's one. Like I understand maybe some of your ancestors, yeah, but like you never met them in your life probably. And two is like the chances of your grandparents going through that at that time is very slim. Like a lot of the people that were,
because that was what, in the 40s?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So like all the people that survived that time or that era, like they're getting on the last few years, if any, like if they're even alive type thing. So like I don't know, to me I just feel like you should just be proud. Like be proud of like what your race has like done now and stuff like that. And just like I feel like being unproud of your race is kind of crazy to me, cause like that's part of you at the end of the day.
Right.
You know,
there's nothing you can do.
You can't do nothing about that. So like, I don't know. I just feel like you should just be proud of your race, cause like
you should be proud of who you are.
You should be proud of who you are. So I mean, it was an interesting video. I liked it. I mean, like you said, there's a few questions they didn't really answer like that, or like the answer I was kind of hoping to look for.
Yeah, like thing. About the race thing. Why are you not proud of being Caucasian?
Yeah.
Why are you not proud of being, black or whatever?
Right. But I mean, I liked it. I hope y'all liked it too. Hope y'all liked the reaction. Maybe I got some laughs just like we did, cause there's some funny ass shit that happened in the video. And
shit, I want to see more of these kind of videos.
Yeah, let us know down below. Like up the video. If y'all have anything y'all want to say about this video and any of y'all comments, put it down below. We'll definitely get back to y'all. We like reading y'all comments and talking to y'all. But yeah, I mean, that was that. What do black people think about white people on Jubilee? But you already know. The realest reactions happen.
In the back room, man.
Yes, sir. So we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.